So we want to control the articulations of your virtual instruments by selecting them through a tablet, getting rid of key switches. This is the right video for you. Stick around. You certainly need a computer, a DAW, a tablet, or even a smartphone. You need to download in your tablet TouchOSC app right from Apple Store or Google Play, and you need a cable to connect your iPad, tablet, or whatever to your computer. For the sake of this video, I'm using Logic as my DAW, linked to my 10th generation iPad as my articulations controller. First off, you should keep in mind that you can switch between articulations not just through key switches, but thanks to MIDI CCs as well, at least in some libraries. Now you may be wondering, should I use key switches or MIDI CCs? What the best? Well, actually, that's not much of a difference, that story is, as long as you're using single sample libraries. Because if you're addressing instead to bundle, for instance, string libraries plus woodwinds libraries plus brass libraries belonging to the same library created by the same developer, like Cinematic Studio Series, which by the way I'm using today as an example, you'll happen to notice that key switches may change for the same kind of articulation between orchestral sections. For instance, in Cinematic Studio Series strings, key switch for sustain is C-1, whereas in Cinematic Studio Series woodwinds, sustain is linked to key switch placed in C0. But that's not the case of MIDI CCs, which maintain their values among orchestral sections and keep consistency through all libraries of that bundle, and making your life way easier when working with articulations. So now we're gonna structure the so-called articulation setup within Logic using MIDI CCs and not key switches, just as an example. But this method is identical referring to key switches as well. So we land here on articulation set. We choose new, and we add, for the sake of this example, 4 main articulations. We rename them sustain, staccato, pizzicato, tremolo. So these are our 4 main articulations. Then we land on Output tab. We load up our manual of our library, and we land on this page where it says key switch CC. Any of the functions within CSS that can be triggered via key switches can also be triggered via single CC. The key switch CC, this is set to CC58 by default and can be changed via the config screen. Moving this CC to any of the value listed here in the table below will activate their associated function. So we've just learned that for our goal, CC MIDI CC58 is the right number to activate the articulations. Now here on the output panel, we choose for each articulation type controller. Then we go for MIDI CC58 and we write the relative values. 1 for sustain, staccato is 21, pizzicato is 31, tremolo is 56. So articulation tab done, output tab done, and switches tab we just add with plus sign 4 times. It populates by default our controller linked to our articulation, our MIDI CCs. And that's the job done in Logic. Now we've got to change our settings here on our tablet in our TouchOSC app, and we should try to structure our project, our page for our articulation switch. You can do it right here in your tablet because it's your tablet, which control your computer. But actually, I suggest to work much more comfortable, and so you have to go here to the TouchOSC website and get TouchOSC version for your computer. So once you have downloaded it, it is right here, and you better work in this version in your computer, because I find it way easier and much more comfortable to prepare the graphic symbols, buttons, and so forth. So for instance, we add a button. We just have some tweakings to perform here, like the type of this button could be momentary, toggle release, toggle press. I generally leave it on momentary. Down here on MIDI, we can change the type of MIDI. Note off, note on, pull pressure, control change, set pitch band. Now for the sake of this example, we've just set it on MIDI CC control change. So it's okay, channel 1, it's okay. Controller, we can choose constant. So our MIDI CC was 58. The value for sustain is 1. So 1 to 1. And that's our button, which will then trigger the sustain articulation. Now we have to add probably our label. Rename it sustain, a bigger size here. Then we arrange it here on our button. Then we select all these two elements here. We align center and we align middle. Then we copy and paste it 4 times because we have 4 articulations. We rename them. Then you basically want to change all parameters, all elements we've just tweaked before, like especially the controller 58 and the value and the scale. So every one of these buttons have to trigger a particular value of MIDI CCs, actually of MIDI value. Then you want to save this project. Then you can move this file in your iPad. So now we are here on our iPad. We load up TouchOSC app, just blank, ready for writing your next and new project. But we wanna load up our project that we just made here on our computer. We wanna import it, import. We go here and we search for our project, and we've got here our project. Okay, great. So we've got now to establish connections between our tablet, our iPad to our computer. To do so, we go to this chain symbol here. We land on the MIDI tab. We check connection 1. Bridge 1 for send port and receive port. Then we go here on the bridge tab. We check connection 1. We choose Max Giulio. And then you have to load this project. To load, you press this play button here on your iPad. And we've got our 4 main articulations. And in fact, whimsically and magically and mesmerizing, you can change the behavior of your articulation just pressing your tab you've just prepared on your iPad. Okay guys, just a bonus update, really interesting one, because I've just discovered that if you select your articulation set with known, so you go for no articulation set at all, you can anyway have your switch, articulation switch. Probably is caused by the using of MIDI CCs and not of KEYSWITCHES. I don't know, I'm not so much of a nerd, but I'm really excited that all this stuff we've just set up and prepared is working amazingly. Anyway guys, thank you so much. My warm thanks for your support as usual. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to. Ding that bell to be notified every time I put a new video up, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.